Welcome back to Tom's Garage again, boys and girls. Beautiful day, cool day, but today, whew, I'm tired already. Pow! Another 22-inch Toro recycler. This one's got a special problem. This is not a carburetor cleaning video. Finally, something different. I just did one of these about a week ago. I guess you're wondering what it is. Let's flip it over and I'll show you. Show you what we got. She said she hit a stump and busted her baffle. She said it locked the engine up, and it did. There's a piece of her baffle stuck right there. Stuck right there. That's supposed to go up there like that. .420. I'm going to put a new blade on here too. Look at that blade. That thing is nasty. Ooh, nasty blade. 420. Let me look right here. 420463 is the part number for the blade, and then a 1205218 is the part number for that plastic rear baffle. And here it is. Sits in there just like that. Sits there just like that. And there's our new blade. A new blade. Alrighty. Well, to do this job, it's a little bit more involved than you might think it is. So, first thing I'm gonna do is stand this thing back up and drain all the oil out of it. That's the first thing we're gonna do. There. All right, let me get my drain bucket. We're gonna be flipping this thing over and rolling it around and just all kinds of crazy ways. So I'm gonna drain it. It needs an oil change anyway. I gotta flip it over so possibly completely upside down. Yep. So let's get this oil draining, get that blade off of there. Grab my rag because I'm fixing to make a mess. Okay. Hey-ya! What these Toros are some, oh, look at that, I just missed. These Toros are some heavy lawnmowers. That lady that owns this, she picked this thing up by herself and put it in her van. I couldn't even do that. Wow. Wow. Hurts my back just thinking about that. No good. Oil's draining, taking 5/8, and let's get that blade off of there. This is going to be a fun little project. Kind of involved. That's not going to fall off, is it? I'll put the bolt back in there. Put the bolt back in there. Oh boy. So what we're going to have to do is get these wheels off. And we'll come around here and I'll explain it to you. Get these handlebars off. This entire plate on each side has got to come off. This rear hatch has got to come off. This plate, of course, has to come off because all this is bolted through that plastic baffle. As soon as that's, yeah, it looks like it's done draining. So see, these bolts, you got another one up there, are bolted through this plastic and through that plate. All right, just stand it back up and put the dipstick back in there. Get this bucket of oil out of the way. And then I'll make a mess. I got some pieces of cardboard here we can use to lay down on the table. Because this thing's going to be laying right on top of the engine. I don't want to scratch the plastic up. All right, first thing we're going to do is get the handlebars off. Get the handlebars off. These cables right here, cables. We're going to get this off. Unhook it here and just lay the cables out of the way. 7/16. But what I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to draw a little line around this cable. Well, I don't really need to do that because we're not going to take this out of that. Whatever. It's too early in the morning. Too early in the morning. Take your little washer and get the bolt out. I'm going to leave the bolt in there, put the hardware back on it. I want to make sure this cable don't slide inside of this block. Pull the bar off. That way we can get that cable off, put the bar back in there. All right. Zone control cable and your drive cable. And this will come off like that. We got to remember now these handlebars go through the middle of these two cables, so let's try to remember that. We'll get the bolts and knobs off. Get it off each side. Reach over and pull this one off. That's a good place to drop it. Okay. This thing's in a bind. There's that one. And here's that one. We'll take and set this over there. The only thing holding them handlebars up is that pull cord. And then we'll get the pull cord out of there. Get that pull cord out right there. Ooh. All right, we'll pull the handlebars off. Set that on the side. All right, let's go back around here. All right. See, when we put these back on there, one goes that way and this one goes down. The handlebars come through here, so remember that. And then we'll just wrap these cables around the engine. And we'll take a zip tie. Just take your time and do it. Do it methodically. You don't have to get in a hurry if you're doing this yourself. If you work in a shop somewhere, yeah, your service manager's gonna be all over you. Hurry, gotta go. But I believe anybody can do this in their own garage. All right, you got two springs right here. That's going to be the biggest pain is these two springs. See how it just kind of holds that closed? The spring lays on top of that right there, and the other end of it Goes through that little square right there, right through that little square thing right there. So let's get a pair of needly nose and let's release those springs. See if I can do this one-handed. I want to. Yep, almost had it. Almost had it again. Yep, it's going to fight me. Let me set the camera down. I'll get it from this angle. It ain't got that much pressure on it, really. It's just having to pull it back out of there. It don't want to pull out. Grab a little screwdriver. Let's see. We'll pull it up and out. It wants to go back in there. So you want to push it so it goes down. There. So we just pulled it up, out, and pushed it down. See how that hole is? It's got kind of an L-shaped hole. That one's going to be the same way. Same way. Let's see, I can go right through the sprocket here and push it up, grab it with a screwdriver, pull it out. Well, can be aggravating a little bit, just don't let it whoop you. Don't let it whoop you. Pull it up and pull it out. Well, let me get a bigger screwdriver or something I can reach right through that spoke. I'll take this screwdriver, get a hold of it, pull it out, and pull it down. Just like that. See, it's not that powerful of a spring, really. You just gotta, it just fights you because it doesn't want to go this way. And to put it back in, we'll go over that when we put it back together. Just grab it and pick it up and push back in that hole. This is a model number 20378, which is one of the most common models of these. See, now it ain't got much spring action because all this has got to come apart. All that's got to come off. Let me see how much fuel's in this thing. Oh, that thing's completely full. Completely full. I'm gonna try to drain the fuel out of it. You get your gas out. That's supposed to be in there. Okay, boy, this thing is full. A Honda or Kohler engine, you can do this too. If it was a Briggs, you wouldn't be able to do it because it's got that lip on the inside of the filler neck. I want to make sure it's all in there. All out of there. Missing the bucket. I believe we're good. Yeah. Let me grab my little turkey baster. I can't turn it over far enough to get it all out. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. So we'll just reach right in there like that. Get the fuel right there in the corner. Okay. So So far, so good. Let me get this out of the way and wipe that table off. Man, I tell you, today is not quite hot enough to have to turn the fan on. That's good. I'd rather sweat just a little bit than make y'all hear that fan running. Yeah, I got a little bit in the floor. Try that. Dry it up. All right, we got the oil and fuel drained out of it. Now the where the fun part begins. Fun. Whew. This is not the stow and go. If this one was a stow and go, it'd have a plate mounted right here that the handlebars would bolt to instead of bolting down here. And it would have a plate where you can stand it on its end. Let's get the wheel off. Don't lose that little washer. There's your little washer. Okay, now we got her pretty down. So what we'll do is tip it up like this. Just kind of let it lay there. Let me grab a piece of cardboard, put under that motor. Or a little piece of carpet or something would help too. Okay. We have got to get this bolt, and this plate will come right off. This whole assembly is going to come apart. Remember, this goes behind this. This is your adjuster. You've got this big keeper right here has got a hex cutout for that nut to sit in. But that one down there, you got to put a wrench on it. And those nuts are 9/16, and these bolts are 1/2 inch wrench right there. And there's kind of a, it's not a washer, or it's kind of a, it holds it centered. I'll show you. Let's see. This one you don't have to hold a wrench on. You can just kind of pull it off. It's not under any kind of big tension or nothing like that, so nothing ought to hit you in the mouth. And then that will come off like that. See how it's curved? This is going to curve back away from the mower, so you can get your finger behind it and adjust the height. You've got two different holes. If it was a high wheel, well, this one is a high wheel. If it was a model that you had the same size back wheels as the front wheels, it would be in this hole. But this is a high wheel, so they have it in this hole. I'll show you. Rubber wrench. I'm gonna set the camera on top of the table. Let's see, let me lower the camera down here. So y'all can see a little better. Spinning around here. I need to use my other tripod for this. Can y'all see that bolt down there? I believe you might can't. Just get your wrench down there and just grab a hold of that nut and hold it. Ooh. That nut is a 1/2 inch, that's not a 9/16. I don't know what I was thinking. Forgive me. And of course the nut and everything's going to fall down in there, so get yourself a little magnet. Alright, that's the nut that come out of here. And there's the nut that come out of there, the bottom bolt, same thing. All right, there's a bolt there, and then this doohickey right there, and the whole plate comes off. It should have a left and right stamped in here somewhere, but it'd be pretty obvious. I had to replace one of these about a week ago. The fella drove a zero turn up on the trailer and backed into it, and it just crushed the whole thing. I had to replace his handlebars and everything. Tap this out. See how that nut sets down in there? And this one was in the top hole. Like I said, if it was not a high wheel, it would go over like that and go in this top hole. But we know it's a high wheel. And, well, where'd it go? There you go. The bottom bolt down there, this is what went through here and held that centered. And of course it went through it just holds it centered. You get your nut on there. Well, there's half the baffle. Just kind of set everything over here for this. Well, this is actually the right side, but we're going to call it the left side because it's upside down. Get all your stuff over there. And then we'll do the same thing on that side and get all that taken off. And you should be able to pull your back flap off. See, it just sticks right through the hole. It sticks through that hole there. Well, I just lost a spring. All right, lay that back over there, grab that spring we just lost. Let's see, where's a better angle I can stick this camera? I believe that's a pretty good angle. I can't see what the angle looks like. And let me move it over here. Well, there's really nowhere to put it. Y'all can see the hardware as I remove it. I think that's pretty good right there. Okay, same thing. Same old thing. Well, you don't need to put a wrench on that. All right, just like that. Just take that plate off, set it over here, and get your little magnet. What we do with the magnet. Come back here. There goes all your stuff. I'll show y'all how to put all this back together. Here's the other half of the baffle. And here's that. I'm gonna try to do this all in one take without having to hit pause every 5 minutes. Unless somebody starts calling me. I don't know why I'm grabbing that blade. Yeah, she was Missing our safety flap too, our rear flap, so we're just gonna pull this off for now. We can put that on the last. Blow some of this dust and debris out of there. And this is gonna sit just like that. Let's see, that one goes up like that. Go ahead and get that in there. Get that through the bodywork. That'll kind of help hold it. This is where you got to be kind of double jointed. Put it on backwards. Okay, let's see. I'll take the bolt and stick it in there, stick it through that. I tell you, if you had a partner to help you do this, it'd be so much better than more hands. That needs to go all the way in. It's not wanting to go all the way in. There we go. All the way in. That center like that. Alright, let that sit on there like that. Make sure you're putting it back in the correct groove. That one right there. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to turn that fan on. It's getting stiffy. I'm already starting to drip. Get that little nut started. And the fun part really is getting this back in there. You gotta be able to keep it all lined up. You're gonna end up dropping it 4 or 5 times. Keep your little magnet handy. And make sure it's seated all the way inside that plastic. And you should be able to get the nut started. If we can, that would be awesome. Oh, see, I just dropped it. Let me see if I can work it back in my finger. Nope, get your magnet. The problem is I'm at a funny angle now. Can't see it. I need to be right there where the camera is, but okay, how do we look? Ooh, the table just went down a little bit. I think I got an air hose leak somewhere. Okay, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good from that angle. So what we'll do, make sure everything is lined up. Uh-oh. I gotta hit pause because we got some money. Okay, before I tighten that side, I'm going to put this back on because we've got to be able to move this thing around. And go ahead and put the back hatch back on it. If I can remember where I put it, there it is. Let's see, this was like that and like that. Let me hit pause again, I got a customer. Ooh, okay. Like I was saying, leave this side kind of loose. We can fudge with this. If this stays loose, then we can fudge this in there. So we'll go ahead and stick this on there. See, these springs ain't very, you know, not very hard to work with, but go Go ahead and stick this one in this side. Let that kind of hang there. All right. Let me wait before I do that, because I'm going to have to be able to stick my hand in here and pull on this, because this is going to be kind of tough to get this to line up, because you know they get warped up just in manufacturing and other reasons. Especially if you buy one of these aftermarket brands, they will not be exact. And make sure that seat's all the way down. Make sure it goes all the way in. Okay. Really, just like that. Okay. It's gonna go like that. It's gonna go like that. Get your nut ready. Get ready. Like that. You can see the indentions, the impressions of how it used to sit, so if you get confused, you can use that as a guide. All right, there's that. This is going to be a little bit tougher than the other side, because this thing is, you don't have as much movement as you had over there. Just don't let it whoop you. It's just a piece of plastic, and you're better than it is. You're better than this piece of plastic. Don't let it whoop you. All right, I'm not gonna tighten that very far, because I want to be able to move this thing around, you know, because now we got to get this in there. But first, go ahead and get this bolt started, because this is where you got to really pry on this thing. You got to pull it back pretty far. This is where you earn your money. Money. There we go. See, it's going to be tough to, let me pull this back off, I'll show you. What did I do with my little magnet? Where'd the magnet go? There it is. I got to get some smaller shirts to quit losing so much weight, man. My shoulder's about to fall out of the neck of this shirt here. See, this has got to go inside that plastic. And that's where you really got to pry on this thing. And you can try to let the impact kind of pull it in too, but you don't want to hurt this thing. You don't want to crack it. Let me grab my needly nose. What did I do with them? See what I'm saying? See how, I don't know if you can see down there, but that's going to have to go inside that hole. It's such a bind right now that I'm going to have to hold this against it and try to get the nut started by spinning the bolt. There we got it. See, right now it's, I'm hitting the camera, tripod. Let me grab a flashlight. Yeah, you can see right there how we're going to have to pull that into that hole. And this thing is probably a good 1/8 inch off. this so you can see it a little gooder. Now you'll just be staring at the back of my head. Okay, we got to get this thing bent and pushed over. Grab a screwdriver and see if we can wedge in there and just kind of force it a little bit. It's still going to be kind of tough to do. So we are still a good 1/8 of an inch over. There's got to be a good way without hurting this thing to pry on it. Now, let me say something here. I just want to tighten it down a little bit. I'm going to do my 1/2 inch wrench. There it is. Okay, I'll just kind of hold the nut. Maybe we can get lucky and this thing will come on over for us. Anything at all happen? No. Let me back off a little bit. Because you can crack this new one. You know, I might have had it tightened down too far. My hand in there. I forgot to charge my other flashlight. Get this in there, stick it down there, get that little nut, give it a little pry. Try it in here. Look out, boy. There we go, we're getting it. We are getting it. Yeah, we're getting it. All right, now that we got it pulled in all the way, I'm gonna go ahead and back it back out. Uh-oh. Woo, what a day already. Man, it's a day for a man. All right. You know, I just get so aggravated, man. We're 1/4 of the way through the 21st century in one of the most advanced cities in the world. And people still ask me how they get here. Well, you found me on the internet. First thing I asked them, I said, well, you got internet access? Oh yeah, I found you on Google. Well, if you found me on Google, you'd find the map right there. I got a map on my Google page. I'm not hard to find. Okay, we got that started. Now we'll get this back flap back on there. You go down there, well, 57 Chevrolet's been sitting for 40 years and hanging left by that oak tree that got hit by lightning back in the 70s. I love it. I love it. I love it. Ah! No, I don't sell parts. I just want to get this in these 2 holes right here and get this thing started, and we'll get it flipped back over and then we'll get these springs back on here. Tell you what I'm gonna do. The easiest thing to do. Well, let me raise the camera back up. I'm gonna set you back in the floor here. I'm gonna go ahead and work that spring back in that little hole right there. And I bet you I can do it with my finger. Okay, let me get a big screwdriver, push it around there. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I'll fish it around there like that. Grab my curved needle nose. Reach around like that right there and grab a hold of it and stick it back right there with a pair of niggly nose. Blue gal. Then we're going to go over here and do the same thing on this side. Reach around under like that right there. Grab a hold of it just like that right there. And right back in the little slot. Right back in this little slot. Right there. All right, I guess we can go ahead and tighten her down. I believe that was time. Let me raise the legs back up. Get back on the table so you can watch. I bet you I'm gonna get cussed out on comments for messing around with this camera so much. Dang, Dobie, I can't stand watching your videos. You move the camera around and bang it around too much. That's because I hate editing. I do. Let's see, I believe she had it right there on that tallest setting. Reach around here with the wrench. Now we'll tighten this one. Okay, little flapper works. Now we'll go over here and tighten that one down. I'll tell you, people coming by calling, it takes me 3 hours to do a 45-minute job. It's all right though, I ain't got nothing but time. What you want to do is you want to make sure this is lined up and it fits over that piece that comes through. You know, don't have it way down here. Just kind of hold it centered. Just kind of hold it centered. It'll line up itself. And then we'll take and pull the adjuster around, tighten this bottom one. Alrighty, that is good. Let me hit pause. I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheels back on it while we're sitting here. While we're sitting here doing nothing. Oh, let's do that. Let's put the wheels back on this since we're right there. These washers aren't spring loaded or cupped or anything, so it don't matter how they go on. It's just a washer. Get it started. Carry this one around there. Yeah, these bolts are shoulder bolts. If you don't have this washer, then the wheel will get too tight against that bracket right there and it won't roll good. All right, we're done with that. You should have been done with that an hour ago, Dobie. Sorry, sir. Okay, let's go ahead and stick this new blade on there. I left my impact laying way over there. Well, it ain't gonna work. I'll hook the air hose to it. We got to put that safety flap back on there too. I about forgot to do that. Uh-oh. It's September. All right, get the handlebars back on. Put it in that side, pull it over, put it in that side. Okay, what are those knobs? Oh, about forgot. Gotta get the cables back on. Okay. Remember what I said. This one was under there, and just like that. Okay. I'm not going to tighten them down because we got to get it back in that lady's car. We got to take them back off. I don't know how far away that lady lives, but I ain't going to make her unload this thing by herself when she gets home. I may just take it to her, I guess. I can't believe she loaded this thing by herself. Oh, golly, I couldn't do that. There goes the mailman. All right, we'll get the cables hooked back up. This is the zone control cable that goes here. If I can get it to bend for me. Get in there, boy. There we go, got that one. And this is the drive cable. Just pull it out. Stick in that little hole. Then it put it back in that little hole. Uh-oh, see, I just pulled that without having that tightened down, and it pulled the cable out. Right there is where we had it marked. Of course, we'll test it, make sure it pulls good. If it starts pulling weak, all you gotta do is loosen this and pull this down. Pull the slack out of that, but that feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. Okay, let's go around here and get the pull string hooked back in the handlebars. Well, how did I just do that? There we go. Let me spin her around and we'll put some oil back in it. Put the Earl back in it. Just not a fan of those black dipsticks. And I'm not a big fan of those dipsticks that screw in right here instead of having a tube. Those things will cross thread every single time you try to do it. Just pour it all over it. I bet you that's going to be perfect. Make sure I didn't scratch up the plastic or nothing, having it laying over upside down like that. She'll whoop me if I scratch her plastic. I'm gonna give that a minute to settle. Put some fuel in it. Ooh, I gotta go get some fuel for the shop. About out of gas. About out of gas. Big granddaddy long-legged spider right there. Okay, how much gas does that give us? Yeah, she's got about half tank. That's good enough. All right, now we'll check the oil, make sure the oil level's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Couldn't be no perfecter than that. Perfect. Absolutely on the nose. Well, all right, there. We got a new rear baffle installed. Everything is hunky-dory and tight, and everything looks good. Now let's get her down, fired up, make sure the drive works. Let's take it outside. I ain't cranking it on my table. Hope she cranks being left upside down, laying there like that. Ready? I bet we found the spark plug. Bet we did. Well, all right, boys and girls. Thanks for watching another long, drawn-out, dumb little video. Camera's hot, fixing to cut off, battery's dead, and I got to get a fan on and some smaller shirts. All right. Love you guys and girls, and tell somebody I love them. And we will catch y'all on the next one, man. Love you guys.